Hello everyone, Matthew here, NOLAnerdcast on Sunday, the last day of New Orleans Wizard World Comic Con, and I'm here with the fantastic Dustin Nguyen. How are you doing today?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm glad we caught you. We're doing all right. I mean, we just found out he leaves in an hour, so we picked the best time to show up. If you don't know who he is, first of all, shame on you, because he is behind the most joy-filled comic DC puts out, Batman Li'l Gotham. And just how did that even happen? Like, how did you get that idea to DC?
You know, like 6-7 years ago, I pitched them snow globes in that style, and it didn't work. So I was like, I kept doing it, and I kept doing it every show, and eventually they found a place for it in DC Digital, and that's how we got it off the ground.
Yeah, DC Digital is awesome. But I always like when a couple months worth of issues on DC Digital, and then they put it in the actual physical form.
Two chapters. They're called chapters because they're only 10 pages, so 2 chapters per issue. Yeah.
And when you ran out of holidays to do, because if you don't know Li'l Gotham, it's kind of like the characters of the Batman world dealing with different holidays or seasons or events. Like, I remember when you started, like, you can tell you ran out of the major holidays and you started getting more creative. Did you have fun with that?
I mean, initially we only pitched 12 stories, so 12 chapters, which is like 6 issues. Right. But then they asked us for 24. And so we didn't really run out of holidays. We just didn't want to be redundant on some stuff. And, there's... but I mean, originally I really just wanted to do fun stories. The reason behind the holidays was, you're guaranteed like a gig for a while, as long as there's a calendar. So that helped out. But once we were able to get more stories, like, hey, why not have, them leave the city for a while? Yeah.
Before because I'm fairly new to comics. My first convention was San Diego Comic-Con, and before I knew you were actually a writer and an artist and worked for DC, I ran into your booth at Artist Alley at my first Comic-Con, and I actually bought. You have several of these. I don't know if you have them anymore. You had like a collection of one with all the heroes and one with all the villains in the Batman universe. That was the first piece of art I ever bought at Comic-Con. So I just want to say thank you for taking the time to talk to me, because it's kind of like awesome for me to see you here. How did you get involved with New Orleans Comic-Con specifically?
The Wizard Show, they just invited me out here, and and I've never been to New Orleans, so why not,
Oh, see, it's a draw right there. You get some food, you get to enjoy New Orleans, and we're growing big enough to attract people like you. Now that Li'l Gotham is ending, and we still have a couple issues in print form to come out, but do you have any other plans in the works?
I'm actually finished with Li'l Gotham. I finished like last year.
No, I mean like the print issues coming out.
Print issues coming out, and now I'm back in the main Batman universe. So I'm over at Batman Eternal, which is I think comes out in March. Yeah. So I'm involved in that. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, Batman Eternal is the upcoming weekly Batman title, and it's pretty much the who's who of Batman people. It's kind of awesome that you're involved with that. Are you enjoying that?
Yeah, it's really fun. To be able to get back in like normal sized people. Yeah. So.
How if you had to choose, you're very versed in the Batman. Is there any other category of the DC universe, any sect that you'd like to take a stab at?
I really like the Vertigo section of DC, and I was over at American Vampire for a while, and that was a lot of fun. It's tough to say. It's like I love reading DC superheroes, but sometimes I don't feel like it's my strongest way to draw. Batman helps out because it's a little darker and a little more down to earth. I have So
it's funny that you say darker when you come off of Li'l Gotham, which is the anti-dark. I remember when I saw the upcoming next up we're doing Mother's Day and Father's Day, and I was like, oh, that's just going to be sad. But you managed to turn that into a really funny story.
I think it's just playing the various ends of the spectrums, either very light or very. It's just like characters I draw. I like drawing really young or the really old. Sometimes the people in between aren't that interesting. You know what I mean? It's just like art. I really like to be exaggerated or really, fun or sad, man.
I like that.
In between is not.
I like that you kind of stepped away from continuity and you kept Damien in it. Sometimes you would see characters like Cassandra Cain, or you kind of snuck a couple in the Halloween issue you had someone dressed up as Stephanie Brown. You kind of you don't care about the mainstream continuity, and you just have fun with all the characters.
I care until they tell me not. I don't care until they tell me to care. So, but we're very fortunate to be able to have Damien in there for a while, because we actually wrote and pitched our stories a year ahead, so
so it helps.
Yeah, it helps out to get it cleared.
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting that the ones I'm reading are way later after the fact.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
okay, I guess it
We
could have
work,
gone the
like,
other way.
ahead. We work way ahead. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for talking to us. We have one little like joke question we like to ask at the end of
Yeah.
our interviews. So this is a new one. Do you think rocks are actually soft and they just tense up when you touch them?
I think they are because they have trees like that. They have leaves like that, dude. Yeah, they have this one tree where you touch it and the leaves shrivel up. So rocks might be like that, dude.
Snap! That's the most like well thought out answer we've ever gotten. It's mostly
I
just
actually just thought about it before you came. I was just sitting there thinking about it.
it's a wavelength thing. I don't know. Well, thank you, Dustin, so much.
you, man.
Are you going to be at San Diego this year?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Well, then I hope to see you then.
Oh, you are?
Oh,
Okay,
I've
great.
gone like 5 years so far. It's my
good,
first
good,
con. It's
yeah.
kind of like my jam now.
It's like
I
a
love
2-hour
it.
drive for me, so I have to. It's mandatory.
It's a long flight for us. It's an event, but we treat it like it's our main holiday of the year. It's a lot of
like a
fun.
vacation, man. It's worth it too. It's like a week-long adventure. So
And seeing how New Orleans has grown every year,
Yeah.
like it's kind of an exponential growth. We're twice the size of last year, so I'm hoping that we eventually get not at that length, but we're growing. So hope to see you next year.
man. You don't want to be that busy.
It's
But yeah,
nice
a
to be able
lot
to
of fun, yeah.
stop and actually talk to you without
Yeah.
having a 2-hour wait. But thank you very much. I hope you have a
Thank
safe
you,
flight
man.
home.
Thanks, dude. Thanks, guys.